Coming in at number 10 on our list, the Pierre David's deer is a large deer native to Asia. It is the only member of its genus and is no longer found in the wild. Captive populations in zoos, private animal collections, and game reserves constitute the last members of the species. The deer is peculiar in appearance, with a horse's head, antlers, a donkey's tail, and hooves that resemble cow hooves with the added adaptation of webbing between the toes, for swimming. They are resourceful animals as well, displaying the ability to use their hooves as tools for digging and scraping. In 2016, 16 deer were released into an unfenced park in China, tentatively meaning they are back in the wild. Their success will be determined by whether or not they can survive and produce viable offspring. Coming in at number 9 on our list, the mule deer, named for their large, mule-like ears. These gentle herbivores are among the most iconic examples of wildlife in the American West. Another defining characteristic is their tail, which is short, all white, and has a small black tip. Once ultra-prominent amongst the western areas of North America, mule deer populations are declining. At one time, a herd of over 100,000 was observed in Colorado. The same herd is down to 32,000 members currently. There are roughly 4 million mule deer spread across their range, with 10 valid subspecies. According to the Yukon, they are listed as least concern, but challenges like urban development and habitation fragmentation exist. Mule deer are hunted by humans but also experience predation from coyotes, mountain lions, eagles, bears, wolves, lynx, and bobcats. Number 8 on our list, the Thurld's deer. This threatened species lives at high altitudes on the eastern side of the Tibetan Plateau. They are also known as the Chinese white-lipped deer due to pronounced patches of white around their muzzle. The Latin species name albirostris comes from the words albus, white, and rostrum, snout. Thurlds have a dark brown colored upper coat, and their eyes have distinct white eye rings. Their antlers can be quite large and differ from other species because of their cream coloration. Overhunting has resulted in its current conservation status of vulnerable. Like many deer, Thurld's deer is crepuscular, meaning they are more active during twilight. Number 7 on our list, the white-tailed deer. The white-tailed deer is one of the most common deer species on Earth. It has a wide natural range, North America, Central America, Ecuador, and part of South America, and has also been introduced in other areas like New Zealand, the Caribbean, and Europe. In the U.S. state of Texas alone, some 5 million white-tailed deer are present. White-tailed deer are one of the more skittish deer species, often swishing their tails back and forth when they are nervous. When confronted with danger, whitetails can run up to 30 miles per hour and are adept swimmers, capable of making it across strong rivers and lakes to escape. Along with other deer types like the mule deer, chronic wasting disease has been observed in whitetail populations. An infected deer can suffer from drastic weight loss, stumbling, listlessness, and other neurological symptoms. To date, no infection has been transmitted to humans, but the prevalence of the disease has become a concern to hunters and conservationists alike. Number 6, Barasingha. The Barasingha, also known as the swamp deer, is a deer native to the Indian subcontinent. They have numerous tines on their antlers, numbering anywhere from 14 to 20. The word Barasingha means 12-horned in Hindustani. The Barasingha has been the focus of a successful repopulation program, which began in 1967 when the total species population numbered only 66. There are currently 3 identified subspecies, all occurring on the Indian subcontinent as well. Number 5, Reindeer. They are Arctic specialists, living in large quantities above the Arctic Circle in North America, Europe, Siberia, and Greenland. Generally speaking, there are 2 types, forest and tundra reindeer. The tundra reindeer migrate in enormous herds, sometimes totaling more than 500,000 members. Number 4, Red deer. Our first entry to have a maximum observed weight over 1,000 pounds in a fully grown adult, the red deer is a big animal. This species is prominent in Europe, the Caucasus region, Turkey, and parts of Iran. There are even small numbers present in the tall Atlas Mountains of northern Africa. Red deer are often compared to elk in North America and share a common ancestor. Historically, elk were considered a subspecies of red deer, although recently they have been given their own species categorization. Some consider the red deer to be a species group as opposed to one species, but there is much debate over how many individual species and subspecies are associated with the red. Number 3, sambar. The sambar is the largest deer species native to India and Southeast Asia. The appearance and size of each sambar can differ wildly, which has led to some classification confusion in the past. Generally speaking, they are large deer with antlers prevalent on the males and a long tail with a black tip, similar to the mule deer. The males tend to spar like other deer species, but they have been observed to stand on their hind legs and crash their antlers down, which is unique amongst deer and resembles the sparring techniques of bighorn sheep. Number 2, elk. This massive deer is a mainstay in many locations. Their rut, mating season, which occurs every autumn, is a tourist magnet in places like Estes Park, Colorado, drawing thousands of visitors every year. The males showcase their antlers, occasionally spar with other males, and let out a haunting bugle intended to attract females. Elk are also called wapiti, which comes from the Shawnee and Cree Native American word wapiti, meaning white rump. In Europe, they are exclusively called wapiti, while moose are called elk. This geographic difference in phrasing can be traced back all the way to the 17th century. Number 1, moose. The largest deer on Earth is the moose, also referred to as elk in Europe. Moose are enormous, featuring broad, open-palmed antlers with points extending beyond the palm. The largest ever recorded moose weighed 1,808 pounds. Unlike most deer species, moose are largely solitary, except during the mating season. It is common to see solitary bull moose and either solitary females or females with 1 to 2 offspring. Their range in North America is large, extending from Alaska through Canada and the northeastern U.S. The Rocky Mountain ranges also contain moose, with isolated populations occurring as far south as Colorado and Utah. European elk live in large numbers in Scandinavia, the Czech Republic, Ukraine, Belarus, and Russia. Moose, while resembling deer in many ways, also have some identifiable differences. Both males and female moose have a dewlap, which is a fold of skin underneath the chin. Moose also shed their antlers every year, and the size and symmetry of the antlers reflect the overall health of the moose.